So we're here with Will Bernhardt with the Labouré Society, and we're going to spend a few minutes getting to know Will a little bit. Will, can you tell us about your childhood and your faith growing up?
Sure. My parents have been married for almost 25 years now. I am one of their 5 children. I'm the second oldest. And I grew up mostly in South Carolina. And while I was there, I was involved in multiple activities. I played soccer, I sailed a lot, I hiked in the mountains, so I had a pretty robust childhood. The faith was always a huge part of our life. We converted when I was 5 years old. And we were always encouraged to grow deeper in the church, especially through the liturgy and the different devotions within the church, and that was brought into our home as well. So it was something that was not just on Sundays, it came back to our house as well. And we were also encouraged to look further into the church through study, whether it was the church fathers, the scriptures, or just spiritual reading and the saints and everything. So the faith was always a very strong part of our life as a family.
So there was a very strong foundation set very early on.
That's right, yeah.
Did that continue all the way through high school and college? Was there a moment that you really took ownership of the faith?
It was definitely always there. I would never say I was without the faith at any time. I would say that when I really started to understand the faith more was when I actually left home and I was out of that environment and I was in college. And I understood the serious principles, like taking the faith seriously, like service, sacrifice, all these things that are necessary for the Christian life. I really started to understand that outside of the home. And then when and it was all because of that foundation that I had been given as a child.
Great. And when did that start to translate into a call to the priesthood and religious life?
The call was always kind of there. I knew about the age of 7 that I had at least an attraction to the priesthood. I didn't completely understand the priesthood at the age of 7. But it was definitely something that was appealing to me personally. And so I served the altar since I was 7 for 11 years.
Okay.
And so that was always there. Now, when I was in college and I started taking the faith more seriously and I was introduced to the Dominicans while I was in college, that's when it really became more of a substantial call, a deeper call, a really authentic vocation. And so it kind of goes along with my spiritual growth as well a little bit. And while I was there, that's when I really started to take it more seriously. And that's when I realized this is a really unique, a very radical call from the Lord. And something I'm very blessed to have. So when I took it more seriously, the call became much more authentic. When I took the faith more seriously, the call became something much more important in my life.
And that largely came through that involvement with the Dominicans. So are the Dominicans the ones you're discerning with?
That's right. That's right. My school is run by Dominican sisters, and so I came to know the charism and the order through them, and I was introduced to the friars through the sisters.
Okay. And what is the charism of the Dominicans?
The charism of the Dominicans is truth. That's their motto. It's just veritas, truth, and whichever way that can be shared. So we're the order of preachers. So in any way that you can preach, and there's multiple ways, whether it's just preaching or giving homilies and retreats and traveling and giving talks, that's one way. But campus ministry, parish ministry, spiritual direction, any way that the gospel can be shared is within the framework of the Dominican charism. Just as long as the truth can be shared and as long as authentic truth can be proclaimed today.
Wow, thank you. Thank you for sharing. Would you have a particular advice or some tips for somebody who is in college or a recent college grad and they have student loans and those student loans are blocking them from entering formation to the priesthood and religious life?
Yeah, for sure. I would definitely say don't let discourage you. Obviously, there's a Labouré Society that helps you quite a bit. But even though there's obstacles between you and a vocation, especially if this is an authentic vocation from the Lord and not something you're just trying to push yourself, you can overcome them. And I know financial obstacles is just one. There's multiple obstacles you can have. But the financial one can be pretty simple, honestly. And so, yeah, more practically catch it early on and do whatever you can while you're in college to kind of alleviate that. But if you come out with some financial debt or something you need to take care of financially, don't let it discourage you from pursuing that vocation that the Lord has called you to.
Great. Okay. Well, thank you so much, Will, for taking a few minutes to talk with us, and know that a lot of people are praying for you.
Thank you.